you want to visit historical sites, if you want to look at art, if you want to visit a very culturally rich place, there's no need to spend thousands of dollars to fly to Europe. Spend a couple $100s, Southwest Airlines, down here to Mexico City. You will be blown away by some of the things you will see. Good afternoon, amigos. We are standing in the Zocalo here in Mexico City in front of the Metropolitan Cathedral, also known as the Metropolitan Cathedral of the Assumption of the Most Blessed Virgin Mary into heaven. Or reading it, because I can't seem to remember it in English or Spanish, Catedral Metropolitana de la Asunción de la Santísima Virgen María a los Cielos. Okay, now that we have that over, this church is amazing. If you can't already tell, we're going to give you plenty of shots here in a second. Construction started in 1537 and continued through 1813. So it's one of those things where they started building, stopped, kept building, remodeled. It is the largest cathedral in the Americas. Really, and when I see this church, when we visit it, the real point I want to make, and really whenever we visit all of Mexico City, I just keep thinking, there's no need, if you just want to see pretty buildings, if you want to visit historical sites, if you want to look at art, if you want to visit a very culturally rich place, there's no need to spend thousands of dollars to fly to Europe. Spend a couple $100s, Southwest Airlines, down here to Mexico City. You will be blown away by some of the things you will see in this church, and it all starts with this church. So let's take a look inside, Weta.
Vámonos.
That little area is basically just one chamber, if you will. I don't know the correct terminology. It's one sanctuary, Hillary has informed me, of the church that's much smaller. We're about to take you inside the larger main sanctuary of the church. One interesting fact, I think, is a lot of the buildings here, and especially this building, you can see how much they have shifted over time. It's hard to pick up in video, but all the buildings in Mexico are crooked. I do believe this church did suffer a little bit of damage from the earthquake. We can see a little scaffolding up on the top. Correct me if I'm wrong, that could have been there, but I feel like I remember some discussion about some of the damage to this building from the earthquake, and over time, the last several hundred years, there's been a lot of damage to this earthquake, a lot of damage to this building from earthquakes. Another interesting fact about this building is that it is built on top of Aztec ruins, and just around the corner, there's actually probably one of our favorite museums here in Mexico City, El Templo Mayor, I believe is the name of it. We're not going to do that today. We have done that in another video, but I have a feeling we might go back to that because it is absolutely amazing. It's kind of hard to tell, but in this on camera at least, but you can definitely tell how much the building is leaning. It feels like this side is definitely slanted downwards a ton. I think that's just been a gradual shift over time. Mexico City is basically built on a lake, or basically built on sand, so not exactly the most stable structure to build huge cathedrals. But Hillary and I were talking about, if you're Catholic, this has to be like a bucket list type experience. Neither one of us are Catholic, and it's still amazing. Even if you're not religious, I think you have to come see this. It's really hard to capture the size on camera.
I've never been to Europe.
I said that?
Like Greg said, you don't need to buy a ticket to Europe if your goal is to see old buildings, amazing architecture, big beautiful churches. This building, I told Greg, we really need a drone in here, which I don't think they'd let you do, but the building is massive. I know sometimes I can be a bit dramatic, drastic, both, about big buildings here, but this place is truly, I think, one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It's just incredible. Oftentimes churches are decorated with gold, ornate detail, and this one is, it's incredible. I can't even really put into words how massive this is. We're gonna try to look up and see how tall the ceilings are, but Mexico City, you continue to amaze us.
Okay, we've made it outside of the church. We're going to walk around the side of the church, give you some more views of just how beautiful this place is, and also some views of some of the buildings around here. Now, another very important church that is on the mind of many Catholics right now is the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe. I believe it is the second most visited pilgrimage outside of the Vatican. So that in and of itself is pretty impressive. We're gonna try and get to that here in the next 2 weeks, hopefully before the 12th, I believe. We're gonna try and get there. I think hopefully by now you realize, I know I'm preaching to the choir to a lot of you guys, but Mexico City is so culturally rich, and our friend Paul from True Mexico has done a video about how culturally rich Mexico is. But if you want to travel, if you want to experience something new, if you want to try new foods, you want to visit new museums, and just be more cultured, which is something Hillary and I are both doing, and if you just want to put yourself in a position to have new experiences, I highly recommend coming to Mexico. I know to a lot of people, Mexico may not sound as thrilling or sexy, if you will, as going to Europe, but please do yourself some money. Please do yourself a favor. Save a lot of money and just come down to Mexico. And we don't get like a commission out of this, so it's yeah, I feel like you can trust our judgment here.
To add a bit of a disclaimer to Greg's statement, for all of our European amigos, we are in no way trying to say Mexico is better than Europe. Obviously, that's not the case we're trying to make. Mexico does have a lot of European influence in terms of architecture and things like that. I think we're trying to make the point for our friends north of the border that Mexico City and Mexico in general can be as quick as a weekend getaway. I think there are often flight specials, so the ease of travel to Mexico is a lot easier for people north of the border than making a European trip. Now then, we're going to show you guys some views of the other buildings around this area. I think all of our videos could be based on architectural beauty in this town alone, and we would never have to make a vlog about anything else. But we know how much you guys like to watch us eat. But today, it's all about the pretty buildings. Let's go.
Talked at you enough today. Hopefully we have convinced you, well, a lot of you already know this, but to our new viewers, hopefully we convinced you to come down to Mexico to try something a little new, try something maybe a little bit different. Open your mind, open your hearts, open your eyes. And I know this wasn't like our fun, normal, goofy videos, but I think every now and then it's important for us to I don't know, attempt to be a little bit more persuasive, though we might be more persuasive with our jokes.
And our food.
Now we're gonna go eat. I think you're gonna see that in a Spanish video, actually. Well, you've already seen that in a Spanish video. Sí. Muchas gracias por ver. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. click the bell that we get notified.
Every single darn stinking time.
And we have some La Huerta for President 2018 shirts over at KennediKenneds.com/shop.
Get you one.
Adios.
Bye. Go.
All right, amigos, we are standing. Let me start over. Good afternoon, amigos. We are standing in the Zocalo here in Mexico City in front of the Metropolitan Cathedral in Mexico City, or the Metropolitan Cathedral of the Most Blessed Virgin. Metropolitan Cathedral, what is it?
Go.
Also known as the Metropolitan Cathedral Assumption of the Most Blessed Virgin into Heaven. Or also known as the Catedral, I can't do it, Catedral Metropolitana de la Asunción Metropolitana, Catedral de la Asunción de la Santísima, I can't say it, I can't.